Alright, here we have samples of polarized lenses, and if you'll notice, all of the polarized lenses basically already have their colors pre-existing in the lenses. So a polarized lens is not a product that's actually tinted. So you can see that the actual color, whether it's gray, brown, or the greenish color, it's already pre-existing in there. And what it is it's actually a polarized film that's stretched across the lens and embedded underneath the surface of the material. So it's basically a lens, then a laminated layer, and then another layer of the actual lens material itself. So they don't get tinted, they're actually pre-existing. And the polarized lenses are probably the best defense outdoors as far as glare. I know that there's a misconception when purchasing a lens that has anti-glare. Usually that is the anti-reflective layer, which is on the outside of the lens, which does help with some glare, but this, as far as outdoor protection, is going to be the best. Here we have a sample of a brown, and again with the gray. And they're pretty standard as far as the brown and the grays. We do have, in our specialty polarized sections, there are a multitude of other colors that could be selected. Each color has its own unique filtering ability for different environments, and we did try and do our best to kind of explain, for example, blues and rubies and reds, yellows. A lot of people who do shooting, they are very familiar with having a yellow lens as far as clarity and low light conditions. The yellow is fantastic. Between the two, the gray is more suitable for really cutting down a lot of the light. The brown is, I have two myself. The brown I think is better for low light conditions, but personally I do prefer, on the very brighter days, I do kind of prefer the gray. I get more true color perception through the gray than I do the brown. But again, under the low light conditions, the brown is definitely a little more suitable. So the brown's a little bit lighter as far as its transmission. The two here in the center are actually called Copper Tone, which is another polarized lens brand from Visionese. The upper one is, believe it or not, it's actually gray. Because of the HEV that's in the lens, it does give that gray, and I'll hold it up next to a true gray, and you can see it gives it a little bit of a brownish hue to it. That's the HEV protection in the lens. So I just wanted to show that as a sample because we have had a couple of questions about that. The lenses on the far right are, they're all polarized, but they're the polarized photochromatic, such as Driveware, which is on the bottom. And I'd like to actually keep that as a separate short video explaining what they do. And but I do want to see, you can see the samples between, there's an indoor Driveware. Again, it's unactivated. The photochromatic property in it is in its unactivated state versus having a full out straight polarized lens.